Hello and welcome back to the Tournament Center. I'm Randy Bueller and it's time for Deck Tech with Hall of Famer Rob Dougherty.
Yep.
Rob's been on a run and constructed lately. He put up a 9th place in Pro Tour Austin, one slot off that top 8. And you've got kind of an interesting deck here.
Yeah, it's a different take on the white aggression deck. Basically, I've cut it as aggressive as I could possibly do, cutting the lands down to the bare minimum.
This is, you talk about bare minimum, this is 16 lands.
Yeah.
There are 8 lands in this deck that tap for mana.
Yes.
8 plains, 4 fetch, 4 fetch. That's it.
That's it.
16 is insane.
Yeah, it's, as I said, I'm cutting it close.
And so what you get paid off for that is just an incredibly dense variety of threats, right?
Yeah, and there's a lot of things in the deck. Well, one, the deck can, has a lot of plays it can do with 1 mana, but you also can get that sort of multiple play curve without drawing the 3 or 4 land that white normally needs to do it, because you've got the Knight of the White Orchid and the Kor Skyfisher, both of which can really get your land going.
Yeah, so if you hit 2, you're done. That's all you ever need.
If you hit 2, you're done. Eventually you're going to get to 3, and then you can do the double 2-drop with with Kor Skyfisher being one of them.
And your curve essentially stops at 2, right? This is it. 5 cards above 2 mana.
Yeah, it pretty much stops at 2, and then basically anything above 2 is a finisher. And in this deck, Kor Hookmaster is considered a finisher.
How good have those been?
They're fantastic. Like, basically, you're dropping fast pressure out. Basically, I've won 2 games on the back of those. Both times they tap down a Baneslayer Angel.
Wow.
And basically, if your deck's working properly, that Baneslayer being out of commission for basically 2 turns is infinite time.
Awesome. Now, how good is this deck? It sounds like you've actually put in a bunch of testing on Magic Online,
I did a bunch of testing with it. Basically, I found it to be about equivalent to the other deck choices that I had, but basically no one was playing this, so
sure.
I like being
certainly a lot more fun than a bunch of Jund mirrors.
I like being rogue when I can. So and for the semi-casual players out there, it's a nice deck because it doesn't really have much in the way of expensive rares. It's got the Knight and some sack lands Honor the Pure, and the only really expensive card is the Elspeth, and you don't really need her. You can get away with
she's incredibly expensive. I mean, 4 mana.
4 mana, yeah.
That's like half the lands in the deck, right?
she's totally off the curve. So yeah, you can just drop her. Yeah.
Any cool tech in the sideboard you want to talk about?
The side
Arm's Way is fun.
Well, basically, there's one other sideboard card that I want to take a minute to talk about, and that's Brave the Elements.
Okay.
It's for 1 mana. Imagine if for 1 mana you could have a white card that countered a lightning bolt or or any other directed removal spell, or a card for 1 white mana that made it so all your opponent's creatures couldn't block, or a card for 1 white mana that made it so you won all the combats. And then just put them all together in 1 card. And basically, Brave the Elements is just completely insane in this quick aggressive build.
You're not the only one I've seen playing that this weekend.
Yes.
It seems really good.
Yeah, it's I can't say enough about Brave the Elements. If you're running mono white, it's absolutely nuts.
Interesting, and so good they got into the main deck, right? Yeah. That's your big trick.
Oh yeah, and as far as sideboard stuff goes, Devout Lightcaster is just phenomenal. It's so good against Jund. Basically, nice. It
Thrynax goes out of the game
without giving them the 1/1s. It takes care of the leech, and also you're running out a pro black guy, and that deck has a really hard time getting a pro black guy off the table because they've got a lot of black removal. So this guy's really great. And the other stuff is basically the expensive cards are primarily against control. You want to be able, in those matchups, you're going to get to the mana, so you need some. It's nice to have a couple heavier cards.
All right, well there you go. Kind of a nice, interesting take. White Weenie, I mean, still good after all these years. Really nice White Weenie deck, really tight on the mana, which gives you you're drawing spells when they're drawing lands after you get into an attrition war.
Yeah.
Nice deck, Rob.
Good
luck the rest of the way.
Thank you very much.
Stay tuned to the Tournament Center. We'll keep bringing you more news all weekend long.